Okay, so we're rolling.
Awesome.
Okay, guys. Jeremy and Brian here with the SHOT team. This is Sunday, day 4 of
Day 4 for us.
the Oklahoma Boat Expo, and we brought a special guest on this video. We've been talking all weekend about doing this podcast style YouTube with Joe Cooper from Elite Hunting Outfitters, and so we want to introduce you guys to him. We've got some big plans for 2025 that involves Joe and his companies. So Joe, tell us where you're from, a little bit about you, about you personally. Like where did you grow up?
100%. So I guess to start it off, I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. Grew up hunting and fishing, but being close to the ocean like that, fishing kind of took priority in my life. Got into spear fishing pretty young. Very quickly became a really good free diver. One of the top junior free divers in the state of Florida even still have a world record in the IUSA, International Underwater Spearfishing Association.
Wow.
Went off to college, wanted to be an attorney. Started studying undergrad for law, things along those lines, and next thing you know, moving out to the ranch, bought a piece of land, and never can look back. Never go back to a city in a sense. Can't deal
No
with
more attorney, huh?
Yeah, yes sir.
So you still reside in Florida,
Yes sir.
and you have a sizable piece of property
Yeah,
there?
so I'm on 800 acres. We also run a cow-calf operation, which basically every year we sell our calves off to the market and helps pay for, cover the ranch cost, helps the local community, things along those lines. And
So obviously you have a history of being in the outdoors. Fishing is kind of what got you started. But tell us a little bit about how Elite Hunting Outfitters came to be.
yeah, so most African outfitters, or most people that have hunted Africa, might even have their own horror story, but ours started off as a horror story, just still dealing with the taxidermy and issues, and it's been, 3 years now, but we went over there and just saw everything that was wrong with the industry. Things as far as price gouging, people paying an arm and a leg for things that didn't cost that much, made up prices, and the aftermath of, hey, I told you X, Y, and Z, and something else is different now. This isn't what you said, things along those lines, which really made us kick off the company. And from there, we'd like to take it as a generational thing. I'd love to pass this down to my grandkids one day, in a sense.
So I understand that you have a partner
Yes, sir.
that is in Africa. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Currently, he's stuck in Atlanta due to the weather and everything. But yes, he's born and raised South African, generational PH and PH hunters or professional hunters. His grandfather, his dad, his great-grandfather, etc. He knows the lay of the land just like I could say I know the lay of the land in Florida.
So you guys got connected and started this Elite
Yes, sir.
Hunting Outfitters, and then so what kind of services that your outfitting service offers? to
Yeah,
general
I guess
public?
what we offer is a high quality game trophies as well, but a high quality experience in Africa. An experience that is the full African experience without the extra hoopla and BS that goes along with it. Unlike most South African outfitters, I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm owner of the company. We operate in South Africa, but you deal directly with me, so I think it cuts out a lot of the BS or the scams or.
That's pretty unique in that industry, right?
Yes, sir.
Most of them usually are from there.
Yeah, I'd say most of them are usually from there, or you'll get a marketer that is from the U.S. that is marketing for an outfitter.
Yeah.
Whereas in my situation, I actually own the company or a part owner of the company. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that's nice.
So you also have some hunts available in states?
I do. I do hog hunts, gator hunts year round, and then Osceola turkey and waterfowl during season.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you got to get me on a turkey.
Yeah.
100%.
Turkeys, man, I'm telling you, that's
So-
the one thing that when he started talking about his Florida operation, I was like, gators are awesome. I've lived in Louisiana for a little while and messed around with those things, but the Osceola turkey, probably a lot of guys around here in Oklahoma, we got Rios and we got Easterns, but the Osceola, that's where it's at. So a lot of guys probably be interested in that.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Like your Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Kansas, Missouri guys who are customers, that's really kind of our home base right now. We're trying to grow and extend that, but I think they see that on the list, they're going to be like, get me on one of those birds.
100%. We got plenty of birds in Florida.
Yeah,
Plenty
so
of birds.
little fun fact I learned yesterday is not too long ago you were on a honeymoon.
I sure was.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, no, I got married back in November
Yeah.
of this year, or well, last year, 2024. We did a honeymoon in Utah. We rented an RV and drove around Utah for about 2 weeks. Checked out all the state parks, national parks, and yeah, just kind of lived day by
Hannah's
day.
a doll. She's fantastic. We got to get to know her a little bit yesterday, and
Yeah.
she seems as passionate about the business as you.
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
assuming she's
100%.
pretty involved.
Very involved.
Yeah, she's over there running the booth right now while he's over here having fun. So
Exactly. She keeps my dots my eyes, crosses my T's for
Yeah.
me. My better half, if you will.
that's good. Everybody needs one of those.
Yes, sir.
Is she a little jealous that she's not included on the podcast?
Oh, maybe.
We'll have to
good.
get
We're
her on
good
the
at
next
We'll
one
find out.
for sure. We'd like to get you guys to come out to, a few of our events this year too, and maybe set up and shoot some bows with us and hang out. So we can talk about that later. We got some ideas to run by you, but I know yesterday we were talking just like in general about African hunt because a little announcement is SHOT, the 3D experience, is teaming up with Elite Hunting Outfitters this year to give away an African hunt of some sort. We're still working out the details of how that's going to look, but some lucky winner is going to get to go to Africa and hunt, and that might be with us and with a potential film crew and get it on some TV or at least a film generated out of it. Like I said, we're still working on the details, but it's going to happen, right? We're going to make this happen.
We're gonna make it work.
100%.
And so that'll be one of the novelty shots at our 5 events is an African hunt giveaway. So somebody wins this, there's probably going to be a lot of questions, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on the podcast is maybe air out some of those questions and misconceptions of Africa. But the other reason was really to get to know you and let our audience know who you are, know about you. So if I win this, I'm at the novelty shot. I hit the 12 ring at whatever yardage on a quartered up target, and my name's entered, and come at the end of the year in June at the Post Oak Lodge, they announced my name as the winner. Wow, cool, I'm going to Africa. What does that really mean for me as a winning this contest? Is what do I have to prepare for? Generally speaking, airfare's going to probably be on the winner.
Yep.
We'll work on maybe making that a little less burdensome, but the little research I did was like $1,500 to $2,000. You can get a round trip to Africa.
100%. And even if you look at, I believe it's Cyber Monday or Black Friday
Black
specials,
Friday,
they do, this year at least, they did a 50% off international flights.
Oh wow.
So even you could have gotten tickets for even $800 or even cheaper.
So, and kind of what we were thinking and discussing yesterday is maybe like the timing of this hunt might be like a 2026 hunt.
Yep.
To give the winner a year and a half or so to prepare, because there's some things that you can't just like decide, wake
Headed
up
there
one day and
tomorrow.
go, right?
Yeah. Yep.
There's some rules and I guess probably some regulations, especially if you're going to bow hunt, right? You kind of need to prepare a little bit differently than going out and shooting a whitetail.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, even game-wise, the game in Africa, their vitals and organs are much further forward in the chest, whereas most whitetail hunters, and especially myself, bow hunting, I'd shoot behind the shoulder or just out there under the arm in a sense. But for an African animal, you're really going to be missing the vitals. That,
If you take
Yeah.
like a standard shot on a whitetail
Yes.
on a kudu or something,
Yep.
it's bad news.
It's bad news.
Yeah.
You're tracking it for a while.
So, giving that year and a half, preparation time will give the winner a chance to kind of do some homework, do some research, practice maybe on some Wild Creek targets, because the Wild Creek targets have kill zones
Yep.
that are correct
For the animal.
For the
and-
animal.
And so for those of you guys that don't know, they're made in South Africa. So a lot of guys that see these targets and they're like, oh, that's way further up than I thought. Well, if you start doing your research and figure out, like he just said, that those vitals are further forward, they're protected a lot more. They have a lot more out there to worry about than some of the game around here. So that's why
Yes.
we
It
put
just-
the scoring rings in that spot.
Yeah, they just evolve differently with lions and tigers after them, right? So,
100%.
So, and then the other reason to maybe extend it to a 2026 hunt would be to give somebody some time to like financially be prepared for whatever may occur. And
100%.
one of the questions that like I would have is, okay, I want to hunt, I'm going to Africa, okay, airfare is this, good, check. What other kind of expenses do I need to be, prepared for while I'm in Africa on a hunt?
So another expense you'd be looking for is the cost to get your bow over there, things along those lines. I imagine it's all going to be bow hunting.
Yep.
Yep. There's a little bit of cost in there. And then realistically, the rest is going to be with us. Your trip is covered, your meals, your laundry, your nightly stay, your day-to-day, your airport pickup and drop-off. You're with us from the moment you land in the airport to the moment we drop you back off.
Man, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Unless you had a desire to do day trips or things outside of
So
our
you can
lodge.
bolt on some other excursions.
Yeah, that's a thing that a lot of people miss out going to Africa is there's a lot more than excellent trophy animals, large game animals, big game animals in a sense. You can go, for example, bathe elephants. You can go ride ostriches. There's cage diving with sharks. There's one extreme to the next.
I want to see Jeremy ride an ostrich. That's my whole goal when we get
Yeah,
there.
we'll have to definitely get that on film. Yeehaw.
Yep.
I think I'd rather be, I would like to do the cage shark deal.
Dude, but one thing I want to hit on the ostrich deal is yesterday Joe and Hannah were telling us about how the ostrich rips open stuff. Like, tell us a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
was
about.
to say, they are a lot more deadly than people give them credit for.
I was actually thinking they were nice and stuff, and then until you told me this, and I'm
Yep.
kind of like, okay.
Most of the time they are. Most of the time they're going to run off from you, but the occasional one that's a little bit more dominant, they do have about a 2-3 inch claw talon in a sense on their foot, and they can split a lion in two. They
It's
can
like a
split you from
raptor,
head to
man.
toe. Yes,
Like this
exactly.
thing's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever paid attention to an ostrich foot, but you have one on display
yeah.
at your
Yep.
booth, and
Yep.
I thought it was a Velociraptor foot.
Velociraptor, yeah.
Like it,
Jurassic
it's
Park.
pretty,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah, it's
nasty
Pretty
looking.
intense.
Cool. So, taxidermy. I shoot an animal. I got to get it mounted and put it on the wall.
Yes, 100%. And that's, I guess, where some of those misconceptions or even horror stories that I'm even dealing with the taxidermy. We do taxidermy through a taxidermist, which you deal directly with the taxidermist. There's no dealing with us to deal with the taxidermy. We cut out all of that. You're directly with the taxidermist. We always recommend getting your game mounted in Africa, South Africa. The pricing is definitely a little bit cheaper, but it comes to even out when you're shipping it across.
Explain a little bit why you recommend that.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's the same as if I wouldn't send a whitetail over to South Africa
Exactly.
for them to mount. They've never seen a whitetail. They've never
Yep.
handled it. The way it looks, the way the skin wraps on it, things along those lines. Whereas these guys in South Africa deal with these animals day in and day out.
Sure.
Not that there isn't a few taxidermists
No,
out there that
100%.
do a good job here in the States,
Yeah,
but
I've seen great
when in
work done
Rome.
in the States. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But 9 times out of 10, they're pretty pricey.
Yep.
Yeah, and generally speaking, experience goes a long way. So if you're cranking out kudus left and right, or impalas, or Jim's buck,
Yep.
you get good at it, right?
Yep.
Just like the good taxidermists here in the state are good at doing what they do a lot of.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So
And the
you don't-
turnaround time, sorry. I was going to say turnaround time in Africa is 6 to 8 months, at least for our taxidermist.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
That's almost sometimes better than the whitetail odds around
yeah,
here.
sometimes it's a year-ish
Yeah.
here. So
What are the other options besides?
Yeah, so we
Taxidermy.
also do another option if you didn't want us to mount it down there. We do, it's called dipping and packing. But basically we salt and freeze your hide and brine it and prepare it for shipping back to the States, skull and hide or whatever you'd like off of your animal.
And that's a lot faster to get back, right?
Yes, much faster to get back, a lot cheaper in shipping, things along those lines, but then you have to deal with finding a taxidermist here to get it
So,
mounted.
is it really cheaper? Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, I was
Probably.
gonna say you really it's about the same.
Yeah.
I've seen it be a little bit cheaper. I've seen it be more expensive. I've
Yeah.
seen kind of both sides.
So if it's relatively like cost is kind of the same, you kind of lean towards more
Yeah, let's
have
go-
the
let's go with the
experienced guy do it
experience. Yep, 100%.
and ship it back finished product. That makes sense. And we were looking at your catalog on taxidermy and tanning and all that good stuff, and the prices were really fantastic. I
Yeah.
thought. Like,
Yeah, just to give you an example of that Impala.
Yeah.
Impala's an 80-pound animal, like my whitetail basically.
Yeah.
But, it's $491 to get a shoulder mount for an Impala.
Yeah,
bad.
and the going rate here in Oklahoma, for a whitetail is anywhere from $600 to $800
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
right now. So, yeah, that's the prices were good. Of course, you are going to tack on a little bit of price to ship it back, but like Joe said, it kind of washes out in the evening. Depending on which way you go, it's about the same.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's so many different options here. You guys have just tanning, so if they wanted to bleach a skull, they could get the skull bleached.
Yep.
They could then just tan the hides and
And
send
so-
that back.
Yeah, the
all
rest
kinds
of
different
the,
things.
they only obviously take the front half for the shoulder mount, and then the back half, if you'd like, we could tan that out, and you
Yeah.
can make it into a blanket. You can make it into ottoman ends, chairs,
pillows,
rifle
that's
bag
all kinds of
pillows,
stuff, stools.
whatever. Yeah, exactly,
we,
everything.
We got Jeremy yesterday. We sent Amber over there. There's in the taxidermy book. There's some zebra stools and all kinds of stuff. And she's like, "Oh, you got to shoot a zebra now." So
Yes. I sent her over there to shoot the zebra. Yeah, so we're excited about the hunt giveaway. Tell us a little bit more about like what kind of animals with this package might be on the list to shoot. And then I also understand the hunt giveaway is going to give you a certain, you're going to shoot this, this, and this, but you can also add on
Yeah, so
other animals at your own
100%.
cost if
Yep.
you want to, right?
Yes, sir, 100%. You can add whatever you'd like, or even do, like I was saying, day trips. I like to make the trips totally customizable to each person's individual experience. If you're one of the guys that like to go hike 20 miles a day to go hunt an animal, we can make it happen. If you'd
Awesome.
rather cruise in a truck and make a 5-second walk, or shoot them even out of the vehicle or around vehicles, things like that, we can do that as well. We like to accommodate to everybody's hunting styles and tactics and what their capabilities are as well.
Which I think lends into the importance of making this maybe a 2026 hunt.
Yeah.
Give that winner a chance to really think about what he wants to do.
Yep.
Depending on that winner's budget to add on things,
Yep.
we can really customize it and make a trip of a lifetime.
100%.
So earlier we said primarily a bow hunt, but let's say we get up there and the guy that won the hunt wants to, last animal's kind of hard to get. Is there an opportunity for him
Yeah.
to pick up a gun if he wanted to?
100%. So we have multiple rifles down there. They're all suppressed, all modern day firearms, good
Yep.
clear optics on them. We do rifle rentals for $30 a day, plus
Oh.
ammunition. Yep, and
That's
it
not
definitely cuts the cost down. If you're trying to fly over with one,
Exactly.
you have to pay permitting fees
That's
and
good.
oversized luggage, and I've even heard sometimes the airports down there taxing on
Yeah.
extra handling fees
Yeah.
and stuff that
Oh, yeah.
don't exactly exist.
Well, that's pretty awesome right there. I mean, if a guy, I know I would like to make my harvest all with a bow,
Mm-hmm.
but I know there's sometimes there's an elusive animal out there that, well, you know what? I got 2 days left, and it's not been looking like it's going to happen. So let's go ahead and pick up the gun and try to make it work.
Sure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Plus, we were kind of hitting on yesterday. Some of these animals tough to get on a bow, with a bow, right?
Yeah, realistically, we've seen it all done with a bow and arrow. There are definitely a few species that are just much harder to get on than the next. Things you have to put in. We'd use different tactics to get you in bow range to hunt them with.
Yep.
Especially the zebra is a great one. They're just very plains game animal. They like to be out in the open. They like to run. They don't like to be close to anything.
And that's funny because typically, like around here, I know, like for us that's never been there, you're like, oh, zebra, yeah, whatever. I can get a zebra, but they're pretty tough to get.
Pretty tough to get, especially with a bow.
Yeah.
And then even the gemsbuck.
Yeah.
That one is just a wily animal, just like the zebra. They like to
Yep.
move. They like to be out in the fields. They're just very
Whole
hard to get
different
in
ball
close.
game for us Okies.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, my mind just keeps rolling. If I had to choose 3 animals, I don't know how I would choose which ones to go after. If
Yeah.
money wasn't an option, it's which 3 do you narrow it down to?
Yeah.
I'd be like, man,
Well,
that's a hard choice.
I know for me, I'm throwing the danger factor and I'm in. Like if there's a little bit of element of danger, which is there on a few of these animals, Cape buffalo comes to mind number 1. Lion, stuff like that. Like I kind of want in on that. Like I like to live on the edge there. So
I completely understand, and we cater to everybody's wants, or hunts wise, plains game, dangerous game, no matter what it is. We we're able to do it and have the means to do it.
So
And I guess to even tie back to the animal side, what to pick or what you're looking for, I always tell people go there with an open mind. I guess the best way, do a Google search, African animals. If you see something you like, send it to me. I'll tell you what it is and give you a price behind it. If not, just when you show up there, you'll see 20, 30 different species a day. Whichever you like, they're all available.
and you have catalogs, and we're going to direct everybody to the website. It's a pretty long list of stuff to choose from there.
And I'm going to tell you, I've looked at a few of these different outfitters. Really comparable on price wise. Like it's not as much as some would think to go over there and add on if you do win this hunt, to add on stuff. Especially if we're going to give you a little bit of time to plan for it. Man, it's pretty comparable. So
100%. We like to have competitive prices in a sense, and even a little bit less than competitive, if you would. I don't believe in charging people an arm and a leg to get over there and do a hunt of a lifetime. I'd rather you come over and spend what you need as far as us to keep the business running, things along those lines. But hey, maybe you come back another time. Maybe you don't, but at least we all ended on great terms. We had a great trip,
for sure.
and we're friends after that in a sense. So,
Well, and talking with you yesterday, just kind of getting to know you, like your heart's in the right place with building this company. Our vision with SHOT and your vision with the outfitter, like it meshes up really well. We want to treat our customers, and with the utmost respect, and we want to be friends with them, right?
Always.
And so when they come to our event, just like when they come to your, do a hunt in Africa or Florida, we're trying to make it about the experience. It's in our name.
Experience right there for sure.
If you have a great experience, we know we can be friends, and you're going to come back, and we're going to talk to you on Facebook, and that word of mouth. That's how we've grown, is word of mouth. That's one of the most powerful things in our industry, I believe.
no, 100%.
It is, man, and within 10 minutes of meeting Joe and Hannah, we were like, yeah, this guy's on the same page as us.
Yeah.
Like you don't get that fake BS stuff.
Yes.
Like he's
Yes,
a
sir.
straight shooter, and that's what we like. So
I guess even to tie back into the experience side, that's one of our leading goals for South Africa is no matter, even if you had the worst hunt of the day, it was rainy, it was horrible weather, you didn't get your animal, or you couldn't get a shot off, whatever it may be, at least you come back to a great lodge where you're taking care of hey, you go hop in the hot tub with a nice cold drink or whatever it is, just relax, take a load off, the food's great, the service is great. The whole experience side goes hand in hand with the hunting. I mean, you could go anywhere in Africa, and have great trophy animals, but you can't go everywhere in Africa and have that experience as well.
Sure.
it's kind of funny because you started this off of a bad experience.
Exactly.
We started ours off of a good experience, right? So we had a good experience. We loved it, and we wanted to keep it rolling. You had a bad one and were like,
Yes, sir.
you know what? I need to make this better. So that's one reason why we really appreciate guys like Joe, because he's seen something that was not right, and he's trying to step up and take that place.
Yeah,
So
no, of course. And things like I don't do is I don't charge licensing fee or hunting license for people in Africa. I mean,
yeah,
it
let's
doesn't-
talk about that for a minute.
doesn't cost me much at all, if anything. Obviously, there is a price behind it, but you're coming over with us and spending a good bit of money. Why am I going to charge you a couple extra dollars here and there? Even trophy fees, things along those lines. I believe all the animals you take that are trophy animals, or whether it's a 40-inch kudu or 60-inch kudu, it's all the same price. Yes, we can find those record-breaking or record-size animals, and yes, they will be a little bit different price, but everything else is just a trophy animal. I don't like to add any extra. Hey, it was 45 inches and you broke the 46 category,
Yeah.
so now you have an extra $2 taxed on,
Yeah.
or $2,000 taxed onto that.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, it's funny. I'm going to tie in like our experience in Arizona. We go Coues deer hunting every year, and if you don't know what a Coues deer is, it's a whitetail that lives in the desert mountains.
It's a son of a, is
Yeah.
what it is. They got me.
One of the toughest hunts in North America with a bow, and but they don't get very big. Like a big Coues deer might weigh 100 pounds, 110. That's a big buck. 110 to 120 inch is
Be good deer.
it's a good deer, and like in Oklahoma, we're like 110 inch, let them grow for 6 more years, But if I shot a 70 inch Coues deer it's probably getting mounted. That's a
Yeah,
trophy,
trophy.
to me. It's a trophy, because it's not just about the size of the animal with that hunt. It's the experience and getting it done, kind of the hard way with a bow.
100%. And I guess to tie that into the Florida side, I don't actually sell any buck hunts in Florida. I do it hunt bucks for, well, friends and family in a sense. But that's the same thing for us in South Florida. Our season opens up end of July, early August. We're swatting mosquitoes, sitting in the
Oh,
sweat, just to shoot a 70, 80 inch, maybe a 100-inch buck,
Yeah.
100-inch whitetail. But it's not just about that whitetail. It's about the experience, the sitting there, the drive to wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, sit in the stand all day,
Get
and
carried away
do it
with
again.
mosquitoes.
Yep, get carried away by mosquitoes and do it again the next day.
Yeah.
While we were talking about the price stuff, so let's talk about tipping. Like, how does that work for a guy? Because that's one thing we hear about quite a bit. Like, you want to take care of your PHs.
100%. We don't require tips on anything. Obviously, we appreciate it. We're glad to.
A tip is a tip.
A tip's a tip. 100%. It goes to show our service and things along those lines. But a good tip would be anywhere from that 15 to 25% of your trip to your PH. And as far as tipping the rest of the staff, you can either, if you wanted to directly hand it to each staff member, you're more than welcome to do something
Awesome.
like that. We like to say about $5 to $10 a day, more or less, depending
Yep.
on how you feel and things along those lines. But for example, if you wanted to, my partner Forrester normally would be your PH, but if you handed Forrester, hey, I wanted to tip everybody, and here's how much I have, whatnot, he can go and do it and let everybody, the maids, the cooks, the trackers, the skinners, we can handle it all, or you can handle it yourself, however
Yeah.
you'd like.
There's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes that people are working their tail
Yeah,
off,
no,
right?
exactly.
And,
It's
and part of your price, when you're paying for this outfit, it goes towards that, I assume.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of extra work too that the general person that's listening to this or has never been to Africa probably doesn't know.
Yeah, so that's I guess to even get into that, our day fees or accommodation fees, that's what that's covering. We do $400 a day, or if you're multiple hunters, it's $350 a day per person. But that's covering your nightly stay. That's covering your 3 meals a day, your drinks, your beer, your wine, the whole nine. Your maid service. We have a fully staffed lodge, so our maids will come in daily or every other day and change your sheets, wash your towels, wash your clothes, the whole nine.
What kind of drinks we having over there?
Whatever you'd like.
Get the full bar, huh?
Full bar.
We got
Yep.
Canis, Kurt, from over there. Them guys like to drink a little bit, and he's always trying to tell us, you need to serve some whiskey over here, and you get them guys buying some novelty shots. So yeah. And we've heard some stories too from old Tybo, who went over there and playing some games over there, drinking games with the guys there. I'm like, hey, come on, let's have a shot. So
Yeah, he had a pretty good hunt last year in Africa.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the next thing. Even after your hunt, I love the hang out by the campfire while the chef's
Exactly.
cooking you a 5-star dinner. But
Yeah.
have a drink, relax, tell some stories, talk a little BS or whatnot around the
Yeah.
campfire, and just have the experience.
Sure.
That's the whole side of the hunting, and that goes back even to what I was saying. Even if you had a bad hunt, you come back and there's great company, you get great food, great drinks,
Yeah.
great relax. It's still a vacation.
for sure.
Yeah, and potentially meet friends for life.
100%.
Like we've
Yeah.
met so many people, just based off good experiences. I can think of not just with shot, but on hunting experience in
Yeah.
Nebraska. Justin ran up to Nebraska and we were having a hard time. Facebook out of all places made a little post. He made a comment on it and said, "Hey, come hunt the farm." And long story short, lifelong friend of the guy.
I'm telling you.
We go up there every year and hang out for a week. And
He's calling us, asking us, like, are you guys coming back, right? Like, you guys are coming back? And then we stayed at his house this last season, invited us into his home and his wife and kids. Like, what's cool about that is we had Amber and Candace, Jeremy's sister, and his wife there, Amber, and his little girls, they hunted. But all of a sudden, they wanted to bow hunt because she saw those two out there with us, and so that's been the really cool thing is that they picked up something from us. So
It's awesome.
I know Olivia got a bow probably for Christmas, I think, that year, and then man, this girl's been out doing this too. She's been smoking some mule deer up there. But
shout out to her.
Yeah.
She's been killing it.
Heck yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
guess that goes into a side that we do for the company as well. I do a lot of donations as far as either to schools in my local area, things along those lines, and even discounted hunts and free hunts for kids.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
a firm believer in sharing what our knowledge to the next generation. If we didn't
100%.
pass down what we know to the kids up and growing, then our way of life, our living the way we hunt, things along those lines would kind of fade away and die off. I'm a big believer in making sure that's a possibility and
Yeah.
opening it up for children or kids or younger adults to get into it.
Yep, for sure. That's how I got into this stuff, man. My dad, since I was a kid, I've got pictures of me riding deer, and it's funny, my senior year, we were trying to find pictures for a slideshow, and my ex-mother-in-law at the time was like, is there any pictures without a dead animal in your hand? Like, we've been doing this since I was a little kid, so yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if we don't take care of the future, it's gone in a heartbeat.
100%.
So, and I think in my opinion, it's becoming harder and harder to get the youth away from the Xbox or the TV or the phone these days. Like 4 or 5 year olds have phones now and they're just glued to it. And like, let's get outside.
Yep,
Let's do something. Let's go fishing.
yeah, for sure.
So that's awesome of you, man.
Talking about kids, if you were to bring your kid on one of these hunts, wasn't it 10 and under?
So
or
I do
something?
12 and under.
12 and under.
12 and under are free
Yeah.
as far as lodging, accommodations, the whole nine. Obviously, animals, we do a discounted rate
sure.
for children, but they're free to come. And
That's
even on my
awesome.
property in Florida, I don't do any. I do 50% off any animal, and then free as far as day charges, day fees.
That's pretty
anything.
cool right there.
Yeah.
for-
Hey,
for
dads
me.
out there.
Yeah.
Bring your kid.
50% off to take your kid to Florida and shoot a.
Or if he may be young, like mine's 6, and he's just getting on the edge of
Yep.
being able to pull the trigger on stuff, but he can at least come out there and have the experience too, and hang out at
100%.
camp
Yep.
and be able to experience that. So
Yep.
that's awesome, right
And
there.
another thing I do is I have internally integrally suppressed 22s. So there's no sound, no recoil for those kids that are 5, 6, or 7, and I've never really shot a firearm before and
Get 'em
would like to
started.
shoot. Yeah, get them started. I have steel plates, and we could spend an hour or two at the
Oh,
range
yeah.
just kind of running them through it.
Mine's at that age for that. That's what he wants
Canyon
to
would
do.
benefit.
Yeah,
out of
for
that.
sure.
Go to the gun range and
Yep.
learn how to.
Yeah,
really,
he totes a BB gun about 90% of the time at the house. So
Heck yeah,
yeah,
it's awesome.
Well, that's awesome, man. We support that 1,000%. We're trying to grow our youth and our women in our sport, and that's really why we're doing this, is trying to grow the sport of archery, not just 3D shooting, but this weekend we had paper targets and did an indoor shoot at the boat show. So just growing a sport and getting more people involved with the outdoors is
It's huge.
If we don't grow it, we will lose it.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
for sure.
Well, Joe, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you wanted to touch on the conservation side of the
let's
hunting
do it.
aspect, and
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a misconception in Africa that you're going out there and just slaughtering all these animals. Even clients come over and take multiple, 10, 15, 20 animals, and people look at that and see a negative light in that. But realistically, what they don't see going on in the background is the animals that we're taking are older animals, matured animals, and these matured animals are, well, they're starting to lose their teeth, they're starting to starve, they're starting to be more
Yeah.
aggressive, they're starting to get to that age where they're going to start declining.
Yep.
Those are the animals that we look for to help take those out of the environment, allow the younger bulls to grow up, to breed, to spread their genetics. And a story on a giraffe hunt from last year, we had an old giraffe bull that had lost all of his teeth.
Yeah.
And he had actually killed 3 younger giraffes and almost killed a cow giraffe as well, a female. And we did a discounted hunt for him. A client was there, and look, somebody needs to take this. And it was a clean, ethical kill. The animal died very, very fast and had no, it wasn't a traumatic event for him. And
Yeah.
instead of him starving for weeks on end or even getting ripped apart by lions or something,
Yeah.
he had a quick, painless death.
Yeah, for sure. That's a similar story to what we heard with
I thought
Ty.
it might.
Yeah, it might be the same one.
Was it Ty?
Yeah.
So, one of our sponsors, Tybo's Archery, Ty DeMarion, shout out to you. Went last year on the Africa hunt, and during the hunt they noticed a sick giraffe. There was something wrong with it. He was acting
Mouth.
kind of delirious, drooling out the mouth. They watched him. I might butcher this story, but I think like he couldn't chew his food or something, and the PH was like, "We got to take him out."
Yeah.
And do you want to kill that? And I'm like, seriously, how much is it going to cost? He's
Yeah.
like, no, this is a mercy
Yeah,
deal,
100%.
and so kind of a bittersweet thing for Ty.
Yeah.
Like he got to take an animal, but it was also like putting one out of his misery kind
Exactly.
of deal. It wasn't like we're after a giraffe for a trophy. It was more
Yeah.
like helping nature out.
Yeah, exactly. And the second half of that is 9 times out of 10 they end up being a trophy quality animal,
Mm-hmm.
or even on the verge of
Yeah.
starting the decline of a trophy quality. But
Right.
it's still a great trophy quality.
Yep.
And,
Sure.
and the next thing is we work with these animals day in and day out. We get to see if they are sick, and some of the younger ones, it gives us a chance to dart and bring a vet out to help, whether it's a sickness or a disease or a broken leg or whatever we could do to help that animal's longevity of life. Because in return, that helps us keep our herd and our population
Sure.
going strong and keeps animals year round and keeps a healthy environment.
Well, conservation plays hunting plays a huge role in
role.
conservation.
Yeah.
Like, and we have stories of throughout history of where it actually helps
100%.
the population of whatever wildlife you can talk about. You know, the elk herds, the wolves, everything. If it weren't for hunting, it'd be bad news.
Yes, very bad. You're talking overpopulations, not enough
Disease.
feed, disease. It just keeps going on down the list of how it would destroy our environment. You know, even our day to day, everything that we see would be different.
Yeah.
It's part of the cycle of life.
Yeah.
So you get to you get to eat these animals, right, when you're there?
Yes, 100%.
All right.
Yes, yes. Not the
else?
first day. We normally let it age for a day or two,
Yeah.
but any part off the animal, we are definitely going to be eating.
All
Normally
right.
the back straps.
And then what else is done with that meat? Because you can't bring
Yeah.
it back.
So it's
with
all either donated. A lot
Yep.
of times we'll sell it depending if we go to another farmer's property.
Yep.
Then they handle the meat side of things. But everything in
Gotcha.
Africa is used. The guts, the intestines, the vitals, the organs, the bones, the meat, everything is used. One of their dishes over there is an intestine dish.
Oh, no kidding.
It's one of their famous things that they love to eat. But
As long as I don't smell it and see it cooking, I'm good.
yeah, I don't know if I haven't tried it yet. Don't know if I'm going to, but yeah, they love it over there.
Well, if you haven't tried it, I'm probably going to stay away from that one then.
When in Rome.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cool. So, in there, obviously, there's a certain aspect of danger involved with these hunts, right?
Yeah, always listen to your PH, your
Yeah.
guide, no matter how much you know or you think you know, or however many times. I always recommend if your PH says something, do what he says.
Yeah.
That's for our safety. That's for your safety.
100%.
The way we view this is we put our lives in front of yours to protect you. So if you put yourself in a dangerous situation, that's ultimately putting us at risk to save you from this situation.
Right.
Running up on wounded animals, there are
Yeah.
a few animals that will come back at you if they're wounded. So
Yeah.
we always
And some even when they're not wounded.
yeah, some even when they're not wounded, of course. But that's when our, either Forrest or my PH or one of our other PHs would tell you, hey, I'm going to go in first.
Yeah.
You stay here or whatever. But we'll
Those
direct
guys
you.
literally put their lives in danger.
100%.
for you.
Yeah.
Well, you
And
don't have
that's-
to do a very intensive search on Google to find near misses in Africa. Like there's
Yeah.
the Cape Horns, the lions. Like there's a lot of videos out there, some near misses, and I think there's some not near misses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Speaking of that, I might name drop something here real fast. You guys might have Mr. Danger himself coming up here soon, Mr. Slockmaster.
Yeah, no, I
So-
do a little bit of work with him.
Yeah.
Great guy, great hunter. Love what he does.
Yep.
Oh, 100%.
He's an awesome guy. So if you guys watch Relentless Pursuits, you're probably going to end up seeing some stuff up there with these guys. So that's another thing to see.
That's awesome. Yep.
Well, you have any questions for us, Joe?
When are you booking your tickets?
As soon as we can.
You're talking us into it, really.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
telling you, man. The more I look at this stuff, man, I'm just like, I got the bug.
Yeah.
I've got it. Not only for Africa, but for Florida, Osceolas. I'm there for that for
100%.
sure.
And I don't know if I touched on this, but I do free hunts for any of our Africa clients, hog hunts, discounted hunts for Osceolas, turkeys, gators, the whole nine.
So
Awesome.
if you book for Africa, you get
book
to
for-
come to
yep,
Florida.
Exactly.
Even
Wow.
better, guys. Come on now.
There's literally no excuse.
I'm telling you.
Where can our audience find you?
Yeah.
Website, social media?
Yeah, we're on it all. We have Instagram, Facebook, Elite Hunting Outfitters, _ SA, or
Okay.
_ SF, SA for South Africa, SF for South Florida, or our website, elitehuntingoutfitters.com. And you'll find my mobile number, personal number on there. Give me a call. And even if you're on the verge or on the edge of booking a hunt or wanting to hunt or whatnot, I have no issues talking you through it and guiding it. And even if you wanted to hunt with another outfitter and you're just wondering more information
Yeah.
about Africa, I have no issues helping you out with that either.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is
So
awesome.
guys, get on social media, go follow them. What was the page again?
Elite Hunting Outfitters.
SA and
Underscore,
SF.
yeah,
Okay,
SA.
so he's got
SF.
two.
Yep.
And then if you have any questions about Africa, like, he's the man.
Yeah, you guys can get a hold of us, and we'll get you in touch with Joe. Anything you need, he can answer, man. He's answered
100%.
everything we've had to a T.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm not the guy that's going to BS you. I'll be
Yeah.
directly honest, and whether it's good news or bad news or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
what it is in a sense.
Yeah. That's how it works. Stay tuned. We're going to get Joe with a bow in his hand too before too long. So
Yeah,
so
we'll
we're
be
having
seeing you at
we're
Shot
doing a
Event.
checkup.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Hopefully we can get you, our schedules work out to where you have a booth at one of our events and you get to ask questions personally.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really looking at that June event,
Sweet.
scheduling wise, because that's our season in Africa, June, July, August, whatnot.
Yeah.
Looks like we'll be doing Africa a little bit later in the season this year, but hopefully make it up to that June show.
So June.
Speaking of dates, real fast though,
Oh, yeah.
what's the best time to hit Africa?
Yeah, they're south of the equator, so our summers or their winters. But I always
Gotcha.
say May to October. The hunting there is great year round. The only thing you're gaining by going in those time frame is the weather, shorter days, cooler days, things along those lines.
Yeah.
But heck, I have clients that go over in December and February.
Wow.
January, the whole nine. So
Cool. So if you're the winner, you heard the man. May to October, probably 2026 is looking like that
2026,
time.
We'll
So
collaborate and
if you're thinking about getting in it, just go ahead and start saving now and just buy one, and then when you're there, you can use the free one you want. So
yeah, it'll be a blast. Hunt of a
Good deal.
lifetime.
So-
Well, Joe, we appreciate your time. I know you
Thank
got a
you,
booth
guys.
to run back here, and we hope the rest of the boat show goes well for you and safe travels back home. It was very
Yep.
nice to meet you and have you
Yep.
on board with us this
Appreciate
year.
it, Joe.
And
thank
look
you
forward to
guys.
seeing you again, man.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
100%.
All right.
Awesome.
we'll post all his links down below after this video. So thank
And
you guys.
We'll also put their logo will be on our website with a direct link to their website and social media as well. So you can find that at shot3dx.com. Later, guys.
See ya.